Oh, so I finished reading Pikachu last week, right? So that must mean I'm done reading all Chris Chan fanfiction. Well, wrong again, idiot. We're gonna read something this week. Let's go. Chris Chan in Romancing Quickly, written by Killer Queenie. Let's do this. Just for some context, this is based on Chris writing on Twitter that he wants to read some fanfiction about people falling in love with him, and if it's good enough, he might start dating the author. That's what he's doing, because he's super sexually frustrated right now. So that's the context between why this was written. It's also, as far as I know, unfinished, but let's just go through this, okay? Boom! Crash! Just another day in Quickville. Various fighting between the heroic electric hedgehogs and various baddies sent by the evil witch, Slaweel Ryam. I will succeed in tearing this universe apart before your so-called dimensional merge happens, she shouted at seemingly no one. The various hedgehogs on the ground looked at each other. She talking to me? Sonichu asked, while looking over at his friend Wild, who just shrugged back at him. Just as Ryam was charging up a magical attack, a beam of divine light shone across the battlefield, then nailed her directly in the chest, causing her wand to fall out of her hand and shoot the charged-up beam of energy out, hitting a building square in the base. Worry not, my children. I, Christine Weston Chandler, has arrived. Chris Chan comes in, immediately speaks with improper grammar. This is great. Chris floated in the air, looking down at all her Sonichu children and a few other characters who joined the battle to help out the heroes. She nodded at them, seeming to thank them. When she turned to fly back where she came, she noticed the previously hit buildings begin to crumble, slowly leaning and falling over. Below on the street was a distracted Rosechew, her nuzzle stuffed into a book, with AirPods in. She clearly didn't hear the danger heading her way. Okay, so this is all a big meme. That's good to know. Quick as lightning, Christine swooped down and, instead of picking up the building, went to save the Rosechew. Hey, what? She shouted, dropping her book as Chris quickly picked her up in her hedgehog arms. Sorry about your book. I can replace it for you later. The Rosechew looked up at her savior's face. Still being new to Quickville, she didn't recognize this hero. A small blush crept across her face. Oh well, it's fine, I guess. It was just a Quickville locations guide. Chris gently set down the Rosechew, who quickly dusted off her shorts. Thanks for saving me. I really appreciate it. No problem, hun. As the goddess and creator of Quickville, it's my duty to protect everyone here. She placed a gloved hand on her chest over her heart and radiated a calming aura. Still, you totally didn't have to do that. That's very kind of you to go out of your way to save me when you had bigger fish to fry. She looked around as the damage on and along the streets. Romeo Roserade was with Wild handcuffing Ryam after she got knocked out so she couldn't cause any more trouble. Romeo waved back at Chris. We got it here, ma'am, he shouted at her. Well, looks like my work here is done. Chris began to levitate back into the air before her hand was grabbed by the Rosechew. Wait, is there any way I can thank you? Just by being a loyal worshipper. Chris was quickly interrupted. No, I mean, actually something I can do. A movie? Some coffee? Some tea sounds nice, actually. Flying around makes me thirsty. Tea it is, then. Just take me to a tea shop you like, and we can talk, and I'll pay for it along with a pastry or something like that. The Rosechew began to rummage through her bag, trying to find her phone to look up any close locations. Oh, I totally forgot to introduce myself. I'm Himiko. I'm Himiko. I'm a Tojidamaru Rosechew. That Tojidamaru is one of my favorite Pokemon. That's actually amazing. And somebody better draw this if this isn't already Queen Bee's OC, in which case I'm an idiot. But I like this. I think I'm still kinda newly created. Very happy to meet you, Himiko, but I won't need that phone. I'll just fly us to the quick tea shop. Huh? I can't Himiko was quickly interrupted by yet again being picked up by Chris and whisked away into the air, heading for the shop, while leaving everyone else on the ground to clean up. There goes Mama. Guess she made a new friend? Rosie asked herself, deadlifting a big chunk of deadlifting a big chunk of derby that had landed on Punch earlier in the fight. Chapter 2, I guess. Guess it's a date? And that's how I got my electric hedgehog powers. It's been hours. The pair have been... It's suddenly present tense. What is this? The pair have been chatting in the tea shop, Himiko mostly listening to Chris talk. She found it all very interesting. So much more than her own boring life. What about you? Chris asked her, snapping her out of her thoughts. Huh? Your life, things you've done, where you're from, you know, that kind of thing. You know, that kind of thing. Oh, Himiko tapped an ironclad claw against her muzzle, trying to think where to start. Things have always been hectic for her. Let's see. I think I'm from dimension E2499 originally. I'm not anyone important or anything. I want to say 6 months ago, Magikun... Magichan? Oh, no. His name is Magikun. He's purple and has like 5 eyes. He's kind of weird. She snickered a bit. He's always following this one girl around like a lost puppy. Oh, Magikun must be your dimension's version of Magichan, then. Magichan here is also purple, and a well-known psychic type. He's very knowledgeable. I didn't know there were other dimensional versions of him. I hope yours isn't as weird as E2499's version. Oh no, he's an absolute sweetheart. I'm married to him, actually. When the word married left Christine's mouth, Himiko felt a little hitch in her throat. Darn! Again? Every time she thinks she finds someone nice, cute, and friendly, they always have someone else. She slowly stood up from her chair and grabbed her purse. Huh? Where are you going? Chris asked, with a look of concern on her face. Was it something she said? Oh, it's just... Himiko stumbled on her words. Well, you're married. And I wouldn't feel right going on a date with someone who's... married. Wait, shoot, was this even a date? I'm sorry, I messed up. She started heading to the door, before her hand was grabbed by Christine's. No, don't worry, it's fine. I'm actually polygamous. Magichan is just one of my spouses. Oh, dear. I don't know. If I wanted to keep seeing you, would I have to see your other spouses too? Of course, but they're all very nice. I'm sure if you meet them and show them the same level of care, dedication, and respect you showed me, they'd be more than happy to date you too. Well, back to my dimension. Magikun said I would get involved with a group of people who would turn my life around. I think he said there would be 5 total? It must be us. We're a couple of 5. Clearly it's fate. But my Magikun isn't always right with his predictions. What if he meant a different group of 5? What if I date all of you and it changes my life in the wrong way? What if... Himiko was cut off by a surprise hug from Christine. You must be so frightened about this prediction. If you'd like, we can go to Magichan, my Magichan, and ask him about it. Unlike E2499's Magikun, my Magichan is all-knowing and is always correct in his predictions. Chris stepped back and gave Himiko a little bit of space. All right, I can do that. I'm just worried about meeting others. After being thrown into a new dimension and just getting used to these new surroundings, it's some whiplash, you know? I understand. I'll do everything in my power to make sure things turn out all right for you. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. Himiko wiped a silent tear from her face. She had been crying and hadn't even noticed. Darn, crying in front of someone on their first date? What a mess, she thought to herself. Would you like to meet everyone now? It is a bit late out. Chris looked at the big glass windows of the shop to see the sun had begun to set. It's not like I have any home here to go back to anyway. Himiko gently smiled back. Even if this relationship doesn't work out, I'm sure we can still be friends. Somehow, she thought to herself, as Chris grabbed her hand and began walking her outside and to her house. So that was fun. Yeah. Chris is reading this. He already read this, actually, and if there's ever more written, he'll definitely read that too. So, yeah, now you've read it without having to read it. I hope you enjoyed. This is something all right.